welcome to our second of three, maybe four, maybe 12 Gorilla Radios for this week. Joe Caprino, and we got Mike Reiser back again. Uh, it's Monday. We're doing a special Monday episode. Hopefully, everyone's watching. Gonna talk more semi-state action. We don't have too much to talk about other than we're back going, talking about wrestling. Anything interesting happened today, or we just hop into the Newcastle semi-state?
We had a pretty good thread going on Twitter about the best place to eat in the region. So if anyone has Twitter and they don't follow Indiana Matt, you're not going to know where to eat.
Yes.
And then it just turned to spike ball. So we got all that taken out on Twitter. So we don't have to cover any of the spike ball rules, and we don't have to cover region food.
Yes. We need Newcastle food. I know one of the old heavyweights is like Eli F. It starts with an A. I know he owns a restaurant in Newcastle, and everyone raves about it. And obviously, it's a heavyweight, so heavyweights like to eat. I think he owns that restaurant. I know I think it's pretty popular. I'm sure one of our Newcastle friends will chime
FC
in.
Fighter about to jump on and let us know, man.
Yeah.
Where are the best eats and when you're at the Newcastle semi-state, the largest field house in high schools. Right? Or is that still true?
Yeah, it's still true. It's getting a little old. I think it needs renovated a little bit, but hey, it's a great place to host a semi-state. I can't imagine I know we host sectional and regional and make some money off concessions. I can't imagine what a semi-state does for a high school that have the overhead that you do at the Coliseum and stuff. But I can't imagine the revenue that can go through a school like that. That's huge for fundraising. So.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
He sent me a message earlier. He said I gotta come to the semi-state, get the fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, and fried potatoes with some iced tea.
Jesus.
So I usually go to East Chicago, but it sounds delicious to me. I love fried chicken. I love mac and cheese.
They don't have tacos though.
Hey man, you gotta go. If you're in East Chicago, you eat tacos. If you're in Newcastle, it sounds like you're eating fried chicken and mac and cheese.
Yeah. Fort Wayne, the Coliseum got renovated, and they have a bunch of different places. You got barbecue, you have hamburgers, you have everything. It's pretty nice.
For $12 a clip.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah, we're from Carroll. I mean that's chump change. I mean, come on.
I know, man.
We live on Victory Bay,
Yep. That's his real address. So if you guys need to go find Joe, he lives on Victory Bay.
Yeah, come find me. No, yeah, they Nick. When you guys came over, Nick thought I lived in the hood, and I'm like, you don't know what.
I know. I see my guy Artie Fowler shared the live stream. Got my AJ Fowler state championship shirt on.
Oh,
repping
nice.
for the Warriors.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wear our bandit shirts for when we talk about Evansville.
I know. I was looking for it today.
we'll have to
we're picking sides.
Support our bandit.
Gavin,
Sisson might not like us for that, but
nah, Sisson's my boy, man. Sisson owes me one. Last year I found his phone.
yes, you did. So, anyway, we're going to talk about Newcastle. Maybe try to dive into Fort Wayne a little bit, depending on our timing. So, the Newcastle semi-state is loaded. I think you have 95,000 of the all 112 people ranked from their semi-state.
Yeah, I didn't know that when we did it, but like I said, they post the stats that they always do a really good job. And when I looked at it, I was like, wow, I really like Newcastle. And it goes year to year. There's been years where it's been, East Chicago has been really strong, and I know the last couple of years Evansville's been really strong, and I still get trash messages about how I'm hating on the South, or how how I'm not I'm disrespecting the Newcastle semi-state. How many more guys can I rank? There we go, Artie.
Yeah, you had
Artie Fowler, one of the best follows on Facebook, but you got to get him in spurts, because if he goes on Facebook ban a couple times, so the people that are out there reporting people, you're doing everyone a disservice, because Artie's got a funny Facebook.
I'm just gonna try to see if he. I'm gonna do a friend request my buddy Artie. I won't say that he has 12 kids.
I know. Hey,
he scared the crap out of me.
He might not tell now because he's not cooled down, but back in the day, he would have killed you. back then.
So you got to always have at least one friend from Black Oak,
Hey, If you know already Fowler and Black Oak, then you're good.
Yeah.
That's the name of the drop. If you get lost coming back from EC and you take that, they take that turn west, you take that service road off of Klein, you end up in Black Oak, and you need to ask for directions and tell them you know Artie.
Nice. Do I need to? I actually probably need one of those shirts just to keep in my car, just in case I get lost when I'm in the region.
You gotta get this from Jim Watkins, man. He dropped it off personally.
Nice. So yeah, 81 state ranked guys from Newcastle, which obviously there's only going to be 56. So you've definitely covered your bases. You should almost go 100% there.
Hopefully.
So
I won't. I won't though.
Yeah, there's there is a state ranked guy in that first. We'll see how many guys that
a highly ranked state ranked guy.
What do you say?
A highly state ranked guy at that.
Yeah, right. In the first one, I was looking. I was like, I look at the number ones and like, oh, that's not ranked, but yeah. So we'll go right down 106. First match: Garrett Kondo, Josh Johnson from Ritter, kind of freshman, 16-4. That should be a good one. Kondo's having a good season.
Had a great career.
A little bit of a decent schedule. So,
Garrett Kondo's, I think, coming to the semi-state with single-digit losses every year.
Yeah, oh man, I didn't realize he's a senior at 106. That's always a big plus. Going down, Bryce Lowry, undefeated. He'll have Romello Williams. He's actually, he might be able to. I'm sure he's had some sharks, chicken, and fish. He's originally from like the region, isn't he?
I think so. Howie was like describing him. I was like, I gotta check out this dude's like track profile. And I think like we don't claim Harvey as the region that's in Chicago. It's like that's where the Harvey Twisters, Joe Williams, BJ Futrell. That was a club they wrestled out of. The Morans wrestled out of the Harvey Twisters. And his like IKWF stuff back in the day was Harvey Twister stuff. How'd this dude end up in Indianapolis?
Yeah.
So
he has a pretty good background. So that'll be a good ticker. Romello and Lowry. I mean, Romello looks pretty big, and I know Lowry.
Yeah.
Lowry, I think he's a full 6-pounder now, but I know he was pretty small last year. So I mean, he might not be a full 6-pounder yet. So that might be a little bit of an advantage. Obviously, junior.
How about first match? Bryson Hale of Centerville got his first 2 losses at the regional.
Ooh. And then your reward is an undefeated Bryce Lowry. So,
but I mean, like that's a stacked. Like all the champs would have been tough, but that's a tough one.
Yeah. Going down, you got Evan Dickey. He'll have Keon Cornelius, and then Keaton Morton from Perry Meridian, who's ranked 6th in the semi-state. Then you have Suhas Chundi, the smartest wrestler in the state. He missed one.
Smartest.
He missed one on the SAT. And that's
we
joke about it, but that's true.
He was like, he was like one of 14 individuals from the USA that got to go doing like the biology like championships of the world.
Yeah, biology Olympics or something. I mean,
yeah, that's unbelievable. So yeah. I always pull for Suhas Chundi because I know that someday he's gonna cure a disease I could possibly get.
Yes, yeah. No, he said. I asked him one time. After you missed one on the SAT, what did you do? Did you feel bad? He's like, yeah, I went and did like 100 stair laps.
Ed said that dude works so hard, and that like he's just like when he's not wrestling, he's studying. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So pretty solid weight class, top to bottom. I guess you almost look at it like it was fairly well split up. Obviously with some good matches in the ticket round, but any comments other than?
Yeah, I think Josh Johnson taking 4th at his regional is pretty surprising. He had a win over Evan Dickey at the city championships, which you don't always get to see a ton of no disrespect to what Cathedral does at the city, but it's not the Marion County like depth wise. And to see Josh Johnson, I think he's taking a couple losses late. So I know I think he took one to Lowry, but that Kondo match should be pretty good. And Braxton Vest from Westfield wrestles a really good schedule also. I know he's had a lot of good matches.
Yeah, he's in he's probably taking like 3 or 4 losses to Miller because they're in the same conference as Brownsburg and all those schools. So that'll be.
And they're up at the Trikoff, so yeah. I don't know who he's seen up there, but I'm sure. And then they do that. They wrestle like 2 of the better like dual tournaments right off the bat where you're not missing match. You can't like go an individual and maybe have a bad day going too. You have a bad day at the Westfield
The Shamrock
Shamrock
Slam.
duels. Yeah, you're getting 5 guys, and if you go to Trikoff and you have a bad day, you're getting 5 matches. So
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
Yep. And yeah, so that and then they are at aren't they at Mooresville also? I believe they're also a pretty good schedule, and then they're in that same conference as, like I said, in Brownsburg, Avon, Zionsville, Noblesville. Pretty solid conference.
Yeah, at one point he could have been wrestling Cheney Schauf and Logan Miller until Schauf went back to 13. So
Yeah. Moving up to 113, top of the bracket, Cody Glithero had one of the biggest wins of the weekend last weekend, beating Alex Cotty, and that kind of sets him up a lot better than where Cotty got put. He'll have Dylan Driver, Jake Necessary. I think they've been in and out of the rankings. Excuse me, a little bit.
Dylan Driver for sure. Yeah.
I know they're in the I know they have profiles. That's why. And Necessary is a name that I just stands out to me. Logan Corrender versus Elijah Anthony. Anthony only has 2 losses, ranked 4th in the state. That should be a pretty good ticket round match, right there.
Yeah, both the Brack Hooper.
Yeah, and that's obviously if you're not a semi-state champ, or if you're a regional champ coming in this way, you're hoping for a draw, but you're not gonna the luck. There's only one really good draw that was out there. Going down probably one of the bigger matches of the ticket round here. You got first Blake Wolf and Griffin Ingalls. Ingalls is pretty tough.
Yeah.
So that's
he spent a lot of time in the rankings this year too.
Yeah, and then the winner of that gets Alex Cotty. Suffered his first loss. He's not going to be a happy camper. That's not someone you want to come. You don't want to take a guy like that just coming off his first loss, because he's going to be extra fired up and ready to get after it. So
yeah. What does Alex Cotty got? 4 in his career now.
Yeah.
2 to Jake Moran, 1 to Brendan Cernas, and now 1 to Cody Glithero.
Yeah. That's a pretty small group there. So that's going to be a tough. I mean, and Wolf's had a great freshman season. He's had a lot of good success. I mean, obviously he's coming in 44-0, and you found 44 matches you can win. That's pretty good for a freshman.
Oh yeah, and they snuck into Ohio a couple times too. So
that should be good. And then Brack Cooper, who's had regional champ, having a good sophomore year. He'll have Marquise Wilburn of Warren Central, number 10 and number 12. So that should be another good match there. And the semi-state rankings are messed up because Hooper's 3rd in the semi-state, 12th in the state, and Wilburn's 6th in the semi-state and 10th in the so it's a pick 'em.
Yeah, but that's like one of those things. I think we used to get a lot more messages on that. I love how he sees these guys way more than I do. I'm doing basically like if I've seen a guy, I see some of the Indianapolis guys, but I'm doing it more on different stuff. I like that how he puts his own rankings on there. My rankings are different. It's sometimes it's a little bit weirder when I'm doing my semi-state rankings and they're different than the state rankings. They should be a little bit more similar.
Yeah. So yeah, no, we always get those messages like, why is he ranked different? This guy's above me in one. And number one thing is they go out in different stages. They're not all put out on the same days. And something might have happened, and someone might have gotten a new result in that kind of bumped somebody up, or it's just a matter of different opinions. We have 4 different people doing rankings, so there's different opinions. But overall, this is a pretty good. It's a top. I'm looking at you look at state wise. I don't want a 4 from here. If I'm a number 1, this is not the first round draw I want. I mean, because you're looking at. I mean, who's the 4? You're looking at. You're getting Glithero, Corrender, Elijah Anthony, Blake Wolf or Cotty, Hooper or Marquise Wilburn.
Yeah.
Which 4 do you want? Pick your poison. So that's a pretty tough weight class, and that's I could make a call right now. This 4 can beat a 1. Any of those guys.
Man, like how nasty would this be if this is the 4 that crosses with Evansville? We're doing Evansville later on this week, but Evansville is deep at 13 also.
Yeah.
I mean, talking, Lane Sullivan, or not Lane Sullivan, Lane Gilbert from Sullivan, Cole Ross, and Cheney Schauf just off top.
Yeah.
Like, you could be crossing with, Cody Glithero, Elijah Anthony, Blake Wolf, Alex Cotty,
Yeah,
and Brad Cooper.
we, yeah, you're looking. I mean, I'm trying to try to put these guys in order, some semblance of an order, and it's this is going to be one that it's going to be fun to watch and get there early to watch the fireworks because these guys will get after it.
Oh yeah.
120. Starting out number one, Zeke Seltzer has been on fire, just wrestling awesome all year. He's I think he took a big jump last summer, spring and summer, and he still keeps getting better and better. I know watching him against Bedic at the Al Smith was just impressive. Just the way he picked his spots and you know high level stuff. Just being able to pick apart someone like Bedic at that level. He'll have a tough one. Jake Simone, senior, state placer last year. That's not a good draw for him.
No.
That's one. I believe it's a relative of Simone said something about wrestlebacks at semi-state, which we can all agree on. That's just tough. That's not the way you want to go out. You're wrestling a good guy there. Going down, Brevin Thrine, freshman from Newcastle, having a great season. He has Antonio Jefferson right off the bat, and then the Christian White, who was his only loss of the year. So that's going to be that's a brutal.
Yeah, Antonio Jefferson. I believe Antonio Jefferson beat Christian White at Indiana Mat this year also.
Oh, jeez.
So that's just a nasty weight.
Yeah. And then Carson Eldred having a good season here. He
good career, right?
Yeah, good career. Man, I didn't realize he's a senior. Yeah, he's a semifinalist 2 years ago, and then lost Friday night last year. He should have a little bit easier path, but Tyler Schneider from East Central, Andrew Dietz from Anderson, and then you got Carlton Perry and Anthony Hughes from Lawrence North. Ticket round there, number 10 and number 13.
I believe Anthony Hughes had beat Carlton Perry this year also, correct?
Yeah. Possibly. You know more than I would about that. But yeah, that's another.
I'm going to look at it right now. I know there's a site for that.
Yeah, that should be another. Any other comment? I mean, obviously, the class of the field is Seltzer, but he's going to be tested from the get go. So I mean, Simone's not 7 losses, but he's a state placer. Has some Hamilton Southeastern wrestles a good schedule. Those aren't 7 bad losses by any means.
Yeah, Jake Simone had those awesome matches at the Indiana Mat earlier this year with Giovanni Diaz, who's beat better the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that should be. I mean, that's going to be a good one there. Obviously.
Yeah, Anthony Hughes has wins over Charlton Perry, Haggerty, and Cody Glithero.
Oh, geez.
He also has a loss to Glithero and Antonio Jefferson.
Jeez. So. Yeah, so that should be some. That's going to be a fun weight also. Some really good guys there. 126, our guy Cameron Toole coming in 36-1. He's going to have a pretty that Ryder Searcy from East Central. He has 40 wins. I think they had like 39 pins or something stupid like that. And
yeah.
First period, Jeremiah Henderson from Lawrence North, ranked number 7 in the semi-state. And then you got Braden Lowry, senior, pretty tough out there. He'll have Luke Gonzalez from Indianapolis Cathedral. That's a big match. Cathedral. We were talking about this before. The Friday night Cathedral, McGinley coaching on Friday night. He has just a stupid amount of winning percentage, like 76, 80%, something like that. We'll have to dig that out as I'm getting more and more coaches' results. Friday night results is just crazy what they do.
Especially like the amount of people they send too. It's unreal. Like I thought like it was like him and Derek, right? Him and Derek had like the highest like percentage.
Yeah.
And they said a ton.
Yeah. I'm gonna
the flip of that, you see some guys and you're like, wow, like that's a really low percentage.
Yeah. And that's gonna be a good match. I mean, obviously Gonzalez is ranked 3rd in the semi-state there. He's gonna be ready. And Cathedral's looking for a team championship, and Ron Cott, like we said last night about Crown Point, that's a match for not only for a semi-state title, but Gonzalez is a guy that can wrestle on Saturday next week. So
Ron Cowley won the semi-state last year, right?
Yeah, they won the semi-state. They didn't. Yeah, they had 3 or 4 guys. I don't think it's gonna. I think you're gonna have to have a little more depth than that this year in the semi-state. But some upsets happen here. You're knocking out a Cathedral guy. That's gonna help that's gonna help Warren. That's gonna help Perry. That's gonna help Roncalli. All those teams that are in the mix right there.
Well, Glithero's wrestling well. Lowry, Viduya, and we're gonna get there obviously, but they're gonna have what they had last year. Heavyweight, I think, had a really good run, 82. So
Yeah.
we'll get there.
Going down, you got Eli Otto from South Dearborn, one of like 12 Ottos on their team.
I know, right?
Juan Vital from not Dick Vitale, from North Central. He's 8th in the semi-state, and then you got David Pearson, two-time state medalist, semifinalist. He's lurking there for the winner of that match. So that's gonna be a tough one right there.
Dave Pearson, one of the most exciting guys to watch in the state, right?
Yeah,
that's a guy that'd rather throw you than know you.
Yes, he would, and he's not afraid to throw you, whether it's in a weeknight duel or Friday at state.
Yeah,
if your head's hanging, he's gonna find it.
Yeah, he got Bettich, right? He got Bettich like a lat drop at the preseason open.
Yeah, yes. He's not afraid to throw you, and that makes him dangerous because he also has some good solid stuff too. And I'm glad I don't have to coach a guy like that because that's that hurts this stuff up here, what's left of it. So, but yeah, he's a tough wrestler. He's gonna be a tough out no matter where he goes. Then going down, you got Willie Dennison from Anderson, 33-1, and then he'll probably have Joey Langeman from Carmel, 20th ranked, slipped into the rankings late. Looks like you can make a perfect bracket with all ranked guys there, but definitely.
I know. I'm gonna get on my guy AJ Bradley for not letting me know about Willie Dennison of Anderson.
Yeah, coming in 33-1. That's pretty good.
Because they're in the same conference, right? Muncie Central and Anderson.
Yeah,
they're in that like weird conference with like Harrison and Richmond.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It spans the whole state, like the middle half of the state. Just skips Indianapolis. Yeah. I don't know where. I'm trying to look up and see if we can find out who Dennison has lost to, because Anderson wrestles a solid schedule. They go a lot of places. Willie Dennison has lost to. I don't have it.
Kokomo's in there too.
Yeah, Kokomo, Lafayette Jeff, Muncie Central. I don't think they all wrestle each other, but yeah, I do not know who Mr. Dennison has lost to. So if anyone knows, you can post it. Yeah, so pretty good weight again. Everyone's fairly well separated. No crazy death draws there. So any other comments on 126? Oh, Wawasee. Oh, Alexander. That's not bad loss.
Jace Alexander? No. Yeah. No, Jace Alexander went bad. Yeah, Jace Alexander, 26, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's
not a bad loss. It's a pretty good loss.
So, 132.
Thank you, Mark Matthews.
Yes. 132. Andre Beatty, returning state placer. He'll have Jared Brown from Pendleton Heights. Brown was a state qualifier last year, correct?
If not last year, the year before. I know he's been to state.
Yeah,
and Milo Merkel winner.
Milo Merkel's pretty tough. He seems like he's one of those guys. We've been going to Westfield for a few years, so it's one of those names I just keep seeing. That it wouldn't surprise me if he gets like a 5th year. It's one of those guys that just seems to be around forever and solid wrestler. Devin Frazier.
Yeah, he's been in other rankings this year too.
Yeah, going down. Devin Frazier from Centerville, 41-1. He'll have Luke Goodwin from Southport, he's kind of had an up and down season. He had a good tournament. He beat who did he beat a couple weeks ago? Oh, he beat
Matthew Kuntz.
Matt Kuntz.
And not Andre, but Matthew Slivka. Kuntz for sure.
And then he beat Slivka too.
And Slivka. Yeah.
And he ends up a 4th, which actually probably, I guess if he got probably the better draw you could get there.
Yeah, well, think of the 4 that you come out of there with. You're coming out Andre Betty, right? Slivka, Kuntz, and Goodwin. That's pretty good 4.
Yeah. So that's so he'll have Andrew Wilson from Cathedral coming in with the stellar 5-2 record. He came out late. Not came out late. He's had, I think, an injury all season. So that's going to be a good match. Obviously, teams.
And he was state qualifier 2 years ago, also.
Yeah. There's some team standings on the line there. That's one that Cathedral definitely wants to get through. Going down, you got Hudson Harold from Zionsville, number 8 in the semi-state, and then you have Hill probably match up with Slivka from Roncalli, who's ranked 17th and 6th. And then the big ticket round match, you got Sebastian Bryant, number 12 in the state, and Matt Kuntz, number 2 in the state, and number 1 in the semi-state. So that's going to be a pretty tough match there. Bryant's had a pretty good couple weeks, and then gets rewarded by getting Kuntz in the ticket round.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one, and that's gonna have huge points too. I'm sure Perry Meridian, they're gonna have some horses that they're gonna want to run out, and Matthew Kuntz is one of those guys, you know.
Yeah.
Same thing with Wilson. This is a weight that's gonna have a lot of impact, and Andre Betty. So if you have Betty, Wilson, and Kuntz in that weight, like that's gonna be huge points going towards a team race for those 3 teams.
Yeah,
and Slivka possibly for Roncalli.
Yeah, they all have tough ticket round matches there, so that's always, as a coach, you're looking at that, you're circling that weight and saying we got to win these matches, and kind of hope for a little bit of help from our friends at in Zionsville and Southport and Pendleton Heights, places like that. So then you trade
teams with some green singlets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You trade video with those guys to give them the leg up. 138. Top quarter bracket, you got Nick Walsh from Knightstown, Jordan Johnson from Cardinal Ritter, and then Brendan Manningly, who's a state qualifier 2 years ago. Actually, he's a 2-time state qualifier, correct?
Yeah, I believe his freshman, sophomore year, then lost a year to injury.
Yeah, so he's number 7 in the state. He's had some good wins this year. Got pretty much the best draw you could possibly think of for him. He didn't draw into Logan Bailey, and Jevian Ross, number 2 and number 8 in the state, 1 and 4 in the semi-state ticket round death draw.
Not to jinx my boy Logan Bailey, because there's not like a couple of guys that rep Indiana as hard as the Baileys. But I believe Logan had lost to Betty last year in the ticket round, right? Beatty.
Yes.
So Warren Central, not his best ticket round match, but when we seen Logan at the Al Smith, man, he looked amazing when he wrestled Wagner.
Yeah, he was wrestling with a chip on his shoulder so far this year. So I'm kind of curious to see where he's ready. He's probably not gonna let that happen again. I'm trying to think of who did he, and he lost his.
He lost to Borman in Ohio, right?
Yeah. I was trying to figure out.
I seen his brother doing work at the U of Indy Open too, right?
Yeah. Braden's he wasn't able to wrestle this year, but he'll be back next year. Bailey lost to Seth Johnson from. I was wondering who he lost to at his
last year.
His freshman year in the ticket round is Seth Johnson from North Montgomery. So yeah, he's probably one of the better guys that has only been to state once. He was a semifinalist 2 years ago. So he's gonna be one that that's a tough draw. That's we'll keep repeating ourselves, but that's team implications right there. Even going all the way to state, because if either of those teams losing Jevian Ross, who's a state placer capable, and Logan Bailey, definitely high state placer. He's beating the number 1 guy.
Yeah, Jevian Ross had that crazy story. Remember, like there was like a shooting in his neighborhood, and the bullet went through like his wall and like grazed his head, and then he was wrestling at Disney duels afterwards.
Yeah, like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're wondering how tough he is.
Yeah.
He literally got shot and was wrestling after.
Yeah, like 2 weeks later. Yeah, I saw some stuff on social media about like prayers for Jevian and stuff. I'm like, oh crap, hope scared, don't want to see anything bad happen to kids. So I text Krulik, and so he called me and told me what was happening. I'm like, just like my jaws dropping. I'm like, that's so scary. And he ended up being fine and wrestling 2 weeks later or something. Just when they took him to the hospital, his first question was, "Can I wrestle at Disney still?" That's where.
Yeah, I think he had a mask for some of it, and he took his mask off mid Disney duel, right?
Yeah. He's like, "Screw this. This is Disney." Yeah. So yeah, tough kid.
Yeah, just ultra tough kid, ultra talented kid. So not the matchup you want to see him and Bailey in the ticket round.
Yeah,
But obviously, that's the beast of the state draw we have.
yeah. Going down, Greenfield Central, Dylan Dorman having a good regional champ there. That's a pretty. I mean, he's the one that he beat Ross and Jordan Johnson, I'd assume. But so that's set himself up pretty good. Adam Crouch from Franklin County and Seth Lawson from Frankton there, and then you got Logan Wagner having it kind of quietly having a pretty good season. We haven't really talked about him too much. He'll headlock you out of every position possible. Oh, if minimum scores 26 points in each match.
Yeah, he just looks like mean and strong AF, right?
Yeah,
Like he
yeah,
looks like he's ultra strong. He's ultra aggressive. He's out there like he's wrestling you like as hard as he can wrestle you for 6 minutes, or if he's gonna put you away.
yeah. I'd like to see him and Pearson wrestle because there would be at least 6 headlocks.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, well, Wagner had that.
He's kind of been that Friday night winner. His freshman year, he got the big upset over Triana, and then last year, I don't remember what he ended up placing. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah,
But 2-time placer as a junior. So
yeah. He
his
beat
2
Egley
losses. I know one of
He had Egley in that
what's
wild
up?
Friday night match where it was like 16-12 or something stupid like that.
Yeah. So we need more Logan Wagner at state, right?
Yeah.
We need more Logan Wagner matches at the state finals. 2 losses, one to Bailey in the Al Smith finals, and I believe he lost to Mattingly at one point this year too.
Yeah. So he'll have a tough David Page first round, and then Max Nasalroad possibly in the ticket round. So yeah, Wagner. It's a good weight class, top to bottom. Everyone's, we got one pretty ugly ticket round match, but based on how the draws were going to be figured out, you're probably going to get one bad one. So should be a good day of wrestling there.
Some tough ones on the next one though.
Yeah,
some ones you're just like, ugh.
Yeah, 140.
There's some ones in the next bracket you just like, man.
The first one, Jeff Nanaski, senior, 31-2, trying to be Garen Kahlick's first state qualifier. Wrestling his butt off this year, and he's had a great career. And then he gets to John Anderson from Warren Central. You got a number 7 and number 9 in the state. That's going to be fireworks. Going down another, you got 14-15 and a number 8 in the semi-state. You got Reese Lewman from Hamilton Southeastern. Brady McKivitz is 8th in the semi-state. Pretty tough kid. Been around the scene for about 26 years.
For real.
Run about
Tyson.
Yeah. And then Gabe Phillips from Centerville was a state qualifier last year, I believe. So that's
he missed a ton of time this year too for injury. So I'm glad to see him back in the swing of it. I'd be willing to bet that's probably I think he's been a 3-time regional champ, right?
Yeah. So that's the first time he's lost a regional title.
I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Going down, you got Ben Wolf from East Central. Wolf and the East Central name is kind of synonymous. They've always had some good. If your name's Wolf and you're East Central, you're probably a pretty good wrestler. 41-3. He'll get the winner of Garrett Stewart and Jake Schaefer. Schaefer's 13th in the state. Stewart's pretty tough. Obviously, there's some Stewarts that gone through Cathedral, and I've heard they lift weights. The Stewarts like to lift weights.
So this Stewart's ultra fast too. Like he's like a track Stewart.
Oh wow, yeah, and he's pretty thick. We wrestled against him earlier in the season and at the Al Smith.
Yeah,
he's thick.
He was like holding guys' hands on the mat with like one hand. That's when you know you're like real strong. When guys can't get their hand off the mat from you.
Yeah.
He's a freak athlete. That's going to be a tough one early on for Jake Schaefer. Jake Schaefer's had a really good season though. Yeah. And then you get Ben Wolf, who's 41-3.
Yeah, and then probably one of the top 5 cringe-worthy ticket round matches: Alec Faduya, Chris Wilkerson. Number 1 and number 6, number 1 and 2 in the semi-state. That's just ugly.
Yeah, that's not the one you want to see, especially. I mean, Chris Wilkerson can wrestle with anybody. He's proved that. But I mean, Alex Faduya has had an amazing career.
Yeah, and that's
like champ, 3rd, runner-up.
Yeah. So yeah,
he does not want to finish 4th this year. If a 4th place finish happens, I think he's like one of the only guys to ever go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, usually they'd go 4-3. I think they run someone that went like 4-3-2-1 or something like that. But
It's
Not,
crazy.
yeah,
I mean, Cosgrove was probably close to that, right? What did Cosgrove go like? 4-2-2-1.
yeah, yeah. He was close. Yeah, after looking.
Bailey, well, Braden Bailey was like 3-3-3-1, right?
Yes, yes. Always finish odd. That's always a good thing. So, yeah, that's a brutal match. Wilkerson's had a great season. So, Placer last year, and then you draw Viduya. Obviously, this semi-state's just ugly. So that's gonna.
So, I mean, I'm sure Alec Viduya doesn't want to hear this, but at least Asa Garcia won't be there waiting.
Yes, yes, yeah.
So he beat Asa as a freshman, lost him in the semis as a sophomore, and then lost him as a junior under the lights.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's not happy that Asa's at IU right now.
Yeah. You're just gonna see that here you go WWE, and all of a sudden you're like, "That's Asa Garcia's music." It comes out of
And Chris comes out the microphone.
Yeah, you see him do. You're like, "What?" No, that's good. I had that vision when you said that of that. That's Asa Garcia's music.
Asa or Alec wins it, and then all the lights cut out. You just see Asa drop from the ceiling like Sting.
Yes. So not so fast, my friend. You smell what Asa's cooking. Now he's having a good season at IU, so kind of excited to see him get in the lineup next year.
Yeah, was he wrestling 49 this weekend also?
Yeah, I think a few guys were up a little bit. It's late in the season. They're like, "Yeah, I'm done cutting weight."
I thought you were Angels out there feeding these guys.
Yeah, the one Ohio State kid wrestled 33 half the season, and he's wrestling 57 now. The typical 25-pound jump in weight during the middle of college season.
I feel like they did that to Bailey last year too at IU.
Yeah,
I feel like he was like a 33 at NIU, and then all of a sudden he was wrestling some 57. He's out there wrestling Jason Knoll.
Yes, he is. Yeah, let's just throw you out against Jason Knoll. That's always fun. So, 152. We haven't been gotten off track too much tonight. That's kind of
not as bad as yesterday.
So 152. Shane Bates from Zionsville having a real good season. 35-1. Has only lost at Al Smith Finals. Hell of a tough one. You got Noah Baker from Perry, who's number 4 in the semi-state. Aiden Alford, who is ranked in the state but not the semi-state.
So me and Howie were off on that one. Yeah. Aiden Alford had some really good wins this year, though.
Yeah, he's pretty solid.
He beat Scotty Saylor. He beat Chris Thompson.
Who hasn't beaten Scotty Saylor? That's a question. Scotty has to get his token 10 losses before he can qualify for state. So
yeah, I think we threw Thompson in there, who had a big win over Frigi, and then I look back and Aiden Alford had I think 2 or 3 wins against him. So
yeah, he's pretty solid. Mount Vernon have a pretty solid season. They have a lot of good guys, especially in that middleweights area.
And Nick Krause got his back, man. And Mick Pike said he watched Bailey wrestle Knopf last year.
Yeah. The best part Logan's post about Knopf beating up his bird. Really nice.
I know. Joe sent it to me. He was like, look at this headlock. And I said, well, I've been headlocked by worse.
Yes. So going down, you got another cringeworthy take-around match. Briar Hall and Tice Frigi. That's ugly. And then you have Ulrich Uraski.
Briar Hall had a tough one last year too, right? Did he have Viduya last year?
No, I thought he lost to
someone. Who did he have? He didn't have Viduya, but he had like another tough ticket round because he did not make the state finals last year, right?
No, he did not. I have these brackets better available here. I thought it was. I want to say it was a Warren kid. Maybe.
Could have been. That makes sense.
I don't know. Warren always pulls off those upsets. Nope. It was nope. Those darn Lawrence Central kids. Terrell LaBelle.
Oh, it was Lawrence Central. We talked about that last night.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a he is a 15 to or actually no, that's first round 8-3. Hall was undefeated last year, so that's pretty. He's gonna be wrestling with a chip on your shoulder, and then you get someone like Frigi. Obviously, that's a that's a semifinalist, and Fargo.
I'm calling Robert Falcons and asking why he's doing this to all my East Central guys.
Yeah,
You're trying to give them all these tough tick around matches, bro. What are you guys doing?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, East Central is not getting the draws that they need. Yeah, no, that's
And maybe they're giving all those other guys the bad draw.
yes, yeah. That's my guy. That's Kirschgassner from Lawrence, former Lawrenceburg coach. That's there, man. He's like, man, we're having a great season. Then you throw these guys at us. So yeah,
Yeah, he's such a positive dude too, man.
yeah,
That guy's awesome.
yeah. He was coach at the Dream Team, and he just was like on seventh heaven. He's like cloud nine, just sitting there, like, man, this is so fun, man. Thank you for inviting me. I'm like, thanks for coming.
He said, well, that guy that's a monster.
Kid. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that guy that's a monster, he kind of made us.
Yeah. So you get a free ride there. So going down, you got a blank bracket with no state ranked guys. Tyler Jones, Lawrence Central. It's Avery Willis from Eastern Hancock, Josh Mobley, Batesville, and then Alec McLaren from Westfield. That's kind of a pick 'em there. Tyler Jones obviously is seventh in the semi-state. And then you got our guy number one in the semi-state and state, Bryce Coleman. He'll probably have Tyler Vredeveld from Centerville, who's 41-1, took his first loss to Mr. Briar Hall. So that should be a pretty solid match. Coleman's been wrestling. Pretty
tough draw there for Kobe Lemaster, because Kobe Lemaster for North Central has been wrestling really well also.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a pretty tough draw there. But yeah, as Nick said, yeah, Alfred was behind the Wilkerson brothers, who were pretty tough, and that's a tough out there.
Who beat Coleman last year? Because he was not a state qualifier, right? He was like the lone ranked guy that didn't have any state experience.
Yeah, he lost to Rogers.
And he's wrestling like.
Yeah, he had Rogers.
What? Oh yeah. So that's fun. He doesn't have Rogers this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. Yeah, that's what he's a.
Someone else got that unfortunate.
Yes. 160. Speaking of Elliot Rogers, he doesn't have a too tough. He has Josh Moore from Southport first round, Easton Williamson from Lebanon, and Casey Carr from East Central. Then you got Cooper Newry.
I feel like Easton Williamson's been in high school forever too.
Yeah, I thought weren't Williamsons at Zionsville, or is that?
I think it's a different William. Was that a different Williamson? Williamson's not an uncommon name.
Yeah.
There was one of Hammond Gavitt back in the day too.
Yeah, I don't know the Williamsons. I just know there's some at Zionsville, and I've seen that. I don't know. I was looking at someone's profile from like middle school state, and they wrestled Williamson just like today. I can't remember who it was. I was doing some in-depth research on guys.
That's what me and Joe do during the day. We go back to brackets from 5 years ago to see where these guys lined up in middle school.
Yes. I'm gonna have to see who that is, who I had there, because I know there's someone I was looking up just today. There's probably a kid we wrestled tonight or this week, like, and they had like 3 or 4. They kept losing to Williamson every week.
You got Cooper Norrie, Elliot Rogers, state championship rematch, and possibly in the semis.
Yeah, that's gonna be ugly. That was a good.
You got Jackson Mitchell. Jackson Mitchell has a tattoo of barbells on him. That probably means he lifts weights.
Nice.
And he's got a really good mustache. Or he did. I don't know if Ed made him get rid of that. I thought he brought that from South Haven.
If you don't know a good mustache, there's the Carter Wireman from Columbia City has a nice full mustache.
I still can't grow a full mustache. That's out of control.
Yeah, he's at our sectional, and our guys, Scotty's wrestled him, and that dude just looks straight out of the 1975. Oh man, he doesn't have a thing on this profile. Darn it. Anyway, Jackson Mitchell. I got to watch it because I stayed home for the team state, and I watched all the videos so I could jump matches. And I forget who they sent him out. It might have been against Brownsburg. It might have been against Ashbury. And he goes out there and like he has a close up. I think he has like a barbell on his leg. Jeez, that's nice.
Like I think he has a tattoo of a barbell, and I'm like, I bet this dude's pretty strong.
Yeah.
You can't just go in there and be built like me and getting barbells. I I get cheeseburgers.
Yeah, you get cheeseburgers and cheesecake.
Yeah, just a single, not a double.
uh, Going down, Luke Davis. They're fans of. I know they're fans of Indiana Matt and the Gorilla Radio. Number 20 in the state. Max Hayes from Mount Vernon, pretty solid. He's had a pretty solid career. That's going to be a tough quarter bracket. He's 8th in the semi-state, and he'll have Damon McLean from Warren Central, who's 14th in the state, 3rd in the semi-state. Hayes, I think, ran into like Nori or Rogers last year. Just never. He has never gotten a good draw at semi-state.
That's because you have a monster semi-state. That's like unreal. Like every single champ's a guy that has single-digit losses and 100 and something wins.
Yeah, he had Nori last year in the ticket round after losing to Rogers. So you're just like, oh, good.
Luke Davis had an awesome win at the Al Smith. I think first round that should beat Dinger.
Yeah. So that should be a good quarter bracket, and then
he's wrestling the Welches every day, so he's probably getting extra good in the top position.
Yeah, after the Welches beat up on each other
yeah.
for an hour. Their warm up is probably just watching the Welches beat up on each other and call each other names.
I think once I start seeing all the Zionsville guys with shaved heads, then we know that they really bought into that Welsh lifestyle.
Yes. Going down, you got number 15, Andrew Roth from Lawrenceburg, 40-1, and then he'll probably have Dante Atkins from Indianapolis Lutheran, who is 12th in the state. He had a really good. I know Atkins was a pretty good football player, and had a really good state finals game. I remember watching that and seeing some names that I recognized. Atkins.
Yeah, because they also have the 82 was like a pretty good football player, Hayden Flipovich.
Yep. And I believe Indianapolis Lutheran has not had a state qualifier, so
I was just getting ready to click on this old site, Indiana Matt, to see what we have here.
Yeah,
they don't have anyone listed.
Nope. So, so that'll be interesting. Being the first state qualifier there, they have a couple good shots. Obviously,
enrollment of 225. They've only had one past wrestler even ranked.
Yeah, so that's pretty impressive. 170 to John Dale from Perry Meridian, 4th in the semi-state. Ty Wheelover from Southmont, number 8 in the semi-state. They'll get Bradley Harrington from North Central, 41-2. Those North Central kids are athletic and they like to throw. Sweet Lou Silverman always has those kids ready to wrestle, and he always brings a couple hammers and guys that are fun to watch to Baker's life.
Yeah, Jawan Dale had an awesome Al Smith too. Ty Welliver. There's been some Wellivers that went through Southmont that have been pretty good. Then they have one that was undefeated a couple years ago, like 170, right?
Yeah, they've had some pretty good ones. Southmont always has a couple really solid guys in their lineup. Always a tough out, pretty tough area over there, all Montgomery County.
Crawfordsville? You're saying Crawfordsville?
Yeah,
that's the hood.
Yeah, there's some tough farm boys there.
Where Wabash is at? Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure which side's north and which side's South Montgomery. I had to say North Montgomery. I used to call it Northmont, but then I was corrected.
Yeah.
They said they only the hillbillies call it Southmont. So that's not disrespect to Welliver. That's just what I heard.
Yeah, there's a nice little rivalry there. I've heard there's some craziness goes on in that regional sometimes. A few years ago, there's like I think it was one of the Lebanon kids and like one of the North. I don't know. It sounds like it's just a crazy bunch of very passionate fans there. So that's one of those things.
There was a Jamie Welliver, 3rd place in 1981.
I believe that's their head coach, isn't it?
And Boone Welliver was a 3rd placer at 145 in 2017, so not 170.
Yeah, close. Isn't Jamie
Welliver the Southmont Mounties?
The Mounties. Yeah.
The Mounties.
Yeah. Jamie is their head coach. I assume that's probably a father figure of some sort there. Moving down. Oh, someone's asking about Jesse Mendez's loss. We should just put on that. I'm going to reply to that real quick. You got Gabe Davin, Carmel, and then Titus Ragel from Newcastle. Should be a tough ticket round match there. Um,
Nice. Thanks. Thank you, Brad.
yeah, that's
Yeah, Gabe Davin, Gabriel. I thought we should change it to Gabriel Davin. See, that was like his track thing.
yeah,
I thought he looked really good at the IHSWCA also. He gets Ernest Mosconi first match.
yeah.
Isn't that what they were saying early on that Franklin Central was getting rowdy? Like their guys were getting so rowdy. Was it
Yes.
Ernest? Was it Ernest Mosconi that smacked the official on the butt after the match?
Yes. So, hey, nothing
That's
like
great.
telling official they do a good job. Sometimes when you shout words of disapproval, refs get upset about that and file reports in
Yeah,
places.
I heard our guy
Or
just got his first.
dissatisfaction. So it's good to have good
Sometimes you got to
sportsmanship.
give them a heads up. Tell them they're doing all right.
Yeah, you know, sometimes like Dane does in the newspaper. Call out the officials and say, hey, Greg Moe, you had a great pin call. you know.
Yeah. I think our similar reaction was pretty spot on.
Yes. And just so you guys know, a little inside joke that our group chat, Dane was asking who an official was. And I'm like, what are you going to do? Put him on blast in the newspaper? Because some people have gotten put on blast in the Decatur Daily Democrat before. So
Not me.
it might be this guy because I called it Decatur Magic and he took offense to that for pulling out big wins at big times. So I guess that one reporter did not like. I don't think I'm gonna get called out anymore, but
Yeah, Dane wanted to give a shout out to an official for hitting someone with a stall call, and for me, I thought that was frowned upon. But he said he also gives the positive. So
yeah.
he's the director, he's the editor in chief of the sports page, so he does what he wants.
Mo was actually one of my coaches too, and I actually coached his sons in wrestling, so that's how old
What?
I am. Yeah.
Come to the meet and greet, man.
So yeah, I wrestled at Garrett, Nick. I don't know if you knew that.
They've been trying to take your name off all that stuff ever since.
Yes. Trying to forget about me. Going down, you got Chase Pointer, got an unranked guy. Only semi-state ranked Chase Pointer from Zionsville has had a solid season. Simon Empole, I don't even know how you say that name, Mpole from Southport. Then you got Marcus Malson from Rushville, and then Parker Bishop from Mount Vernon. So that's a pretty solid, just kind of wide open quarter bracket there. Obviously, Pointer's probably a little bit of the favorite. So that's a pretty good quarter bracket there. And then going down there, you got Tyler Wagner having a good season. Number 1 in the semi-state and 7th in the state. And he'll probably have Ronan Heiner from Hamilton Southeastern in the quarters there. Any other comments there?
No, I got off track on that one. These guys got me all off track. The comments were so stopped for a while, and now they're back.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, 170, pretty solid weight class. Everyone's kind of separated. Not as deep as as East Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah. 182. Got Dawson McLeod, North Montgomery, number 18, and then Hayden Flipovich from Indianapolis Lutheran, number 12 in the state. That should be a great ticket round match. You got Colton Myers, Iron Bear Jr. With Dawson McLeod. I'm sure that the Hamilton Heights kids, as Coach Pendowski said, will punch you in the mouth and then throw you. And that's not, that's pretty much the truth. And Colton Myers probably has some heavy hands since his dad was a former MMA guy back when it was like bare knuckles.
Really?
Yeah. He was like really big into it. Like back when the UFC was like UFC like 3 or even pre-UFC.
Nice.
Then you got Johnny Parker, Indianapolis Cathedral. You got Aiden Orcutt from Knightstown and Keon Sullivan, Warren Central. You could have a Warren Central Cathedral match there. Then you got Aiden Warren, definitely gonna be well fed. Hopefully we get some more cheesecake at state. Hopefully they'll get.
I know, man. Maybe I'll get to try a piece this time.
Yeah, he has Dylan McGill, not related to Eric from South Dilborn, and then Riley Woodall from Southmont. Then, oh my goodness, this last quarter bracket just brutal. Number 16 Cole Vale, number 20 Gavin Keese, and then number 13 Garrett Sharp from Carmel. That's just an ugly quarter bracket there.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Got a lot of three.
Aiden Warren got some names in there. Maybe he got Dylan McGill related to Eric McGill. Maybe it has Colin Gillespie. Maybe related to Gregor Gillespie.
Yes, yeah, yeah, and you got Iron Bayer Jr. So yeah, that's a pretty solid weight. Obviously, Warren's probably the favorite there, but he's going to be pushed by some pretty solid guys there. Any comments?
Nope. Pretty good straight on.
Yeah. 195.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Sorry.
195 got JD Farrell, number 3 in the state. Excel Brooks from Lawrence North, number 12 in the state. Lawrence North is, they kind of quietly had a pretty solid season this year, getting back on track.
Yeah, they have a really good coach. I think they're going to do pretty well.
Yeah, they're going to, have a young, enthusiastic coach. Just something like, kind of quietly had a good season. I'm looking through these rankings and stuff. I'm like, man, they have a lot of state ranked guys and semi-state ranked guys. Richard Clevenger, number 8 in the semi-state. Number 7 in the semi-state, Isaiah Martin from Brebeuf. And then Kyle Crewman from East Central took his first loss to some Silas dude. I don't know. So you got, luckily...
Iron Cub, dude. I love it.
Oh, we got the Iron Bear on here. Oh, yes. The Iron Cub.
Nice. That's a great name.
Not a bear yet. He hasn't grown up. He's like 18 years old. He looks like he's more than a cub from the pictures I've seen. He's a pretty big dude. Yeah, so you got Crewman. Luckily, Crewman didn't have a number 3 and number 2 ticket round match there. You got Jacob Huffman having a pretty good season for Cathedral. Zach White, Carmel, Darius McLeod, Warren Central. A lot of big name teams there. Then got some Silas fella. He's decent, I've heard.
Yeah, and he's probably one of the nicest kids in the state too, right? Well spoken.
Yeah.
6'3". Yeah, no, he's not an Iron Cub anymore.
No.
He has to just pick a different kind of bear.
Yes.
If he's gonna be a bear, be a grizzly, right?
Yeah. 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 So our Red's a pretty nice guy, but in that 30 to 40 seconds after you shake his hand, he's not really very nice to you.
Man, Nebraska's getting an awesome kid. I think he's going to do really well. And I think I know Crewman's 1 losses to Silas, and so is JD Farrell's 1 losses to Silas also.
Oh, so
keeping those guys from being undefeated.
Yeah, he's going to get to wrestle those guys to see who they'll wrestle each other to see him again to most likely take their second loss.
Where's the guy from yesterday? He said Silas guaranteed. He's winning this bracket guaranteed today. I take Silas. Not anything's a guarantee. Obviously, Silas broke his arm this summer and made a pretty speedy recovery, but he's about as close to a lock as there is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, we forgot to do that post. Last year we did the your confidence pick on the number 1s for state championship. I forgot to do that.
We'll have to do that for state.
Well, it's too late now. After you see the brackets.
Oh, I had to do it before the tournament?
Yeah, we did the week of sectional. Like your confidence based on how, so it was early so that you had to take a little bit of a risk and couldn't see brackets and stuff.
We'll do it Friday night. I'll do it Friday night on this new show that we're talking about doing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we might have to break that
on
news.
the down low.
Yeah. 220, Justin Stevens, Pendleton Heights, number 8 in the semi-state. And you got Haken van Bijnen from Carmel, who's I guess runs like a 4.2 40. A pretty good football player. Jack Taylor from Newcastle. That's that. Jack Taylor, is that the one that's beaten a first year wrestler that's just beating everybody?
Yeah, that's who knocked out the Northwestern kid.
Northeastern.
And then I think he lost in the final to Blaine Pierce, but it was close.
Yeah. So that's he's the one that you might want to circle on. I guess sounds like he throws people, and he's obviously a pretty good athlete. Van Bijmen is a pretty good athlete too, from what I've heard, like a tight end or something for Carmel football. Who's pretty good at football. So that should be an interesting bracket with a bunch of good athletes. You got Deshaun Young, Parker Smitley first round, number 3 and 6 in the semi-state. Then you got Evan Schaefer and Dakota Arvin, excuse me. And then you got very interesting ticket round match, Drew Webster, number 2 in the state, and number 12, David Gould, number 1 and 2 in the semi-state. Ticket round match. That should be a pretty good match there. Obviously, team state implications. Gould's a guy that could be, on the podium Saturday night, and that's going to be Webster's 37-0. Gould on a brutal schedule at Cathedral Russell's 30-5, and then you got
yeah.
Go ahead.
I thought I was kind of surprised to see David Gould take third there. I mean, obviously it's a tough bracket. You had probably Cameron Brown and then Justin Stevens would have been the champ there, right? Carlton Heights.
Yeah.
No love for Justin Stevens, man. I apologize for that. I mean, obviously you're winning a pretty tough regional.
Yeah, that's definitely tough. You got Blaine Pierce, Richmond, having a good senior season through 3-3. And they'll have the winner, most likely, of Alex Hernandez, 16th in the state, and Cameron Brown from North Central, 7th in the semi-state. Pretty well spread out. You got one bad ticket round match. And
is Blaine Pierce not ranked?
I don't know. It might be a spelling thing. Sometimes they spell names differently, and then we don't.
Nope, I didn't have him in the rankings. He's returning state qualifier also.
Pierce is?
I thought he was.
I don't think he was. We'll check it out real quick. I didn't think he was a state. No, he wasn't a state qualifier. 105 and 31 for his career. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he lost to Josh Howell by Tech Fall, 19-3. So that's 220.
Could have been it.
Yeah. So that's pretty tough, pretty solid weight. Obviously, number 1 and 2 are in the ticket round. So Howie's ranking is going to go down to 96% accuracy.
I know. What a great job by Howie this year, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yes. 285, the big guys. Pretty tough top quarter bracket. You got Josh Berger, Colt Keller, number 6 and 7 in the semi-state. They get to wrestle to see Anton Alexander from Franklin Central, who's number 3 in the semi-state and number 9 in the state. Andrew Irick, number 2 in the state, and Cade Campbell, number 6 in the state, 1 and 4 in the semi-state.
I think Andrew Irick beat him a couple times this year at the North Montgomery Super Duel, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 2 losses to Andrew Irick, 7-1, 7-1, and 3-0.
So that's going to be an interesting match. Campbell's had a good senior year. Dennis Hubbard had a good won a regional title over pretty over Alexander and Keevers, and set himself up pretty good. You got Daniel Snyder from Alexandria, Cameron McDaniel from Zionsville, who's a big dude, and then Brady Myers from Milan. And then you got Holden Parsons, Jashawn Jackson from Southport, Jackson Goodall from South Dearborn, and Mihalis Plagvanov from Westfield.
You like that guy too? You said he wrestled you guys pretty tough, right? Early on.
No, he wrestled Choo Keys. He lost him like 3-1 or something like that early in the season. Yeah. So that's a kid that, obviously if he wrestles someone like Dorian Keys that close.
He's a sophomore.
Yeah, sophomore. He's a big kid. Let's see if that result is on there. I think it was like 3-1 or 3-2, something like I saw that. No, I do not see that. I'm going to have to find that.
Hopefully we can see him at freshman sophomore state next in a couple weeks.
Yeah, if he doesn't make it to state in place, then yeah. So that might be a little bit of a.
Still, if you make it to state in place, then you get a higher seed.
Yeah, well, you can't go if you're a placer in
No,
only qualifiers. Keys is 4-1 over him. That's close. So that's, I mean, you're 4-1 with Dorian Keys, who's a returning state champ. I'll take 14. I'll kind of throw out 14 losses because they're in that same conference with he's seen Keys a couple times, the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. Let's see, that's just a brutal conference there.
Man, that sucks for Cade Campbell, right? 2 losses to Irick, and then he lost to Holden Parsons.
Yeah,
That's just 3 losses, and then you get Irick for the ticket.
yeah, yeah. That's gonna be ugly. Yeah, that Hoosier Crossroads Conference has Brownsburg, Hamilton Southeastern, Avon, Westfield, Zionsville, Franklin Central, Fishers, and Noblesville. All pretty solid teams.
Man, really, that's kind of sucky for both those guys. I mean, that can go either way. If you're Andrew Irick, you could be going home in the ticket round.
Yeah,
You know,
returning
he was a state
state.
semifinalist a year ago.
Yeah, yeah, and that's not. I mean, that's not a draw you want to see. A guy that I mean, beating a good guy like Campbell 3 times in one season is not easy.
No, and I'm sure they'll be ready to go. I mean, Pendleton Heights usually does a really good job.
Yeah. So, oof, man. So it is almost 11 o'clock. You want to
Your
keep going?
time, 10 o'clock, my time.
Yeah. You want to go a little bit into the Fort Wayne semi-state? We have our guys there.
Let's do it, man.
Let me.
We got a couple Fort Wayne guys on here waiting.
Yeah. We won't do 106 though. We'll see how upset they are getting. Oh man, where's my bracket? Where's my bracket?
I think 106 is one of the better weights at Fort Wayne too.
Yes, it is. There we go. Here's my bracket. Got to pull it up. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Why is this not zooming in? Okay. Well, we'll start. We'll do a few weights here. Then we'll do Evansville. We'll be back on Wednesday night and be able to do Evansville and then the rest of Fort Wayne. So we'll leave. So 106. Not much to talk about there. There's no one good there, especially that Garrett kid. He's yeah.
He had a tough one though. I'm sure they wrestled at some point. Harvey Barr. Joe, I'm banning you.
Nice.
Harvey Barr, Hayden Brady. That'd be a good one. Harvey Barr's had some really good wins this year. So Hayden Brady's wrestled really well. I was really impressed with him at the Al Smith when he wrestled Sam Goin.
Yeah. Yeah, he wrestled Goin and then Dickey, real good match. So yeah, that's a him and Rubel are probably the top 2 guys, and they're kind of separated, which is good. I mean, both those teams are looking to be in the semi-state title mix, and obviously you don't want to get a third with the second best kid.
They've never wrestled, man. I was wrong.
So Barr's a little bit young. I mean, Barr's a junior, so I mean Barr. I believe Barr beat a Garrett kid last year in the semi-state, Mr. Weimer. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sure I will get corrected if I am wrong in about 3 seconds. But
when they showed the picture, because he had beat the Harvey got pinned by Martin. Hayden beat him 15-4. Yeah. We don't do process of elimination. We can't do it like that.
Yeah. So,
but Harvey Barr looked pretty good when he beat the Anderson kid this year, Romello Williams. And they were like, look how big this Romello Williams kid is. Like, man, Harvey Barr is pretty thick too.
Hey, I was right for once. Yes. Yeah, 106 pretty tough. That top quarter, you got 11 and 14 in the state. Anthony Martin from Western and Elliot Cornwell from Bishop Dwenger. Cornwell's having a real good season. He's given Brady 2 good matches the last couple of weeks. Contrast of styles, Brady's like about 6'7" at 106, and Cornwell's about 4'7", so you get like a 2-foot difference. And it's been some interesting, crazy, just matches and some scrambles. So that's going to be a good match. I definitely won. Dwenger has had a good history in the past, kind of down the past couple of years, but I think they have some pretty solid kids. I think they can get a couple kids to state this year.
I'm sure Western. I mean, this is kind of like how the semi-state's going to go. I'm sure Western has some ideas that they want to be in the mix for the semi-state championship too.
Yeah,
right there with those middle guys.
Yeah,
well, they got 4 or 5 pretty good hammers that can score points.
Yeah, and that's a big one for them. I did this little. I'm a little tired from tonight because I was trying to rack my brain how I could programmatically figure out kind of who would win semi-state with team points, and based on semi-state rankings and state rankings. I basically sorted them state rankings. If they're not ranked, they go to semi-state rankings, then go to records. And I believe I'm looking up the post. I believe I have Western.
He developed an algorithm.
Yeah, logarithm. Yes. Western right now is based on, if everyone wins based on their rankings, Western's going to win semi-state by about 20 points, which that's a huge margin at this level. That's a 1 or 2 guys better. Southern Wells, Belmont, Carroll, Delta, Peru, Garrett, Oak Hill, Norwell, and New Haven. So that should be it's going to be a close semi-state. I'm guaranteed that it's a lot closer than 20 points. Last year it came down like 1.5 or something. So going on, you got Isaac Rubel having a great season. He probably won't be touched. Him and Martin should be a good match. Rubel just manhandling people. Then you go down Keegan
They're
Mallet.
looking for Ike Rubel, Brady 3.
Yeah, it's a couple. Rubel and Brady got a little bit closer that second time, so this will be a third time. That'll be a good one. I mean, you're looking at that's four big team points right there. Belmont and Garrett are going to be in that mix, so that's going to be huge. Keegan Mallet, Cooper Baldwin from Peru, who's ranked 16th, and then Silas Loshi from South Adams, who is 9th in the semi-state. So pretty solid quarter bracket. They'll get the winner of Brady versus Harvey Barr on number 8, number 17. So that should be a pretty solid bracket.
Wasn't there like a weekend where it was like Harvey Barr, like Cooper Baldwin, and like one other guy just trading losses?
Yeah. Yes.
I think me and Caleb like tagged in every single one of those texts
yes.
or every single one of those tweets.
Yeah. And he just was like, "You got to be kidding me, guys." Yeah. That people just they don't understand if you're ranked higher, you're supposed to beat those guys and not lose to them. So, 113, Ethan Riley from GA County, number 7, the semi-state freshman that's having a pretty solid season. He'll get the win. Justin Brantley from Western has a real good season. Another Western kid right there that's looking to punch his ticket to state. He's number 18 and number 5 in the semi-state. He'll have some Ben Slofer kid from Carroll. He'll have to overcome number 1 genetics and then number 2 coaching. 2 things you have to really it's really hard to overcome. 1 you can get away with, not 2. And then you got one of the.
Do you think there's gonna be a point sometime at the semi-state this weekend? You're gonna do this one.
One time, I do it a lot. Yes, there's gonna be more.
That's the joke.
I can tell you, I can tell you that the wrestlers that are gonna cause that, all of them. If they just do, I tell them the game plan is you take them down, you just pin them in about 15 seconds, and then you don't have to worry about me getting stressed. And nah.
That's what the Shenandoah coaches tell me. They tell Silas every match, take him down and pin him.
Yeah.
He listens.
Yes. Riley. That's a pretty solid quarter bracket. Going down, you got a pretty tough Aiden Sprague, returning state qualifier, Carson Everett, the Northeast 8 rivalry. You got Jared Brooks, who placed 8th last year at state, and Thomas Herman, who's had a pretty good junior season. Herman is a professional wakeboarder. Just as
I remember we talked about this. He had a real good one over Ryan Purvis this year.
Yeah, Herman is. He has some videos out there. Check him out. He's actually pretty talented. So he doesn't put in a lot of time in the off season. So he's starting to wrestle pretty well, and then gets a pretty brutal draw. But he's really strong. He's athletic. He could surprise some people. Yeah, Baldwin Barr and Bowland. Yeah, nice.
So I told you, man. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's a pretty brutal quarter bracket there. Then you got Trey Sturgill, Brady Lewis, and then
everyone in that quarter bracket's pretty good because Carson Everett's got some good lineage also, right?
Yeah, yes, and he has a couple of big moves that he can pull out, and he's never out of a match. Hard work, pretty tough kid. So that's going to be,
I know they all go to sleep at 8:00 in Belmont, but what's his uncle's name? His uncle's pretty good, right? I seen it in the book. Is it? I
would not know.
I have to look at it. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a pretty tough quarter bracket. And then you got Trey Sturgill, state qualifier 2 years ago, who's out last year. Brady Lewis, senior, 2 seniors battling out first round. Lewis is pretty solid. And
he was a state qualifier last year also, right?
Lewis wasn't. No, he was a ticket rounder.
Ticket rounder.
He lost to Sprague, I believe. You got Gage Klein, who's having a pretty solid season for Delta, 24-3. He's had, I know, at least 2 of those losses to Riley. I don't know who the other loss would be to. And then Garrett, going down, you got Blake Kinney from Mechanical, 16th in the state. That Peru regional 113 was just brutal. You had Kinney, Sturgill, Brooks, and Brantley, and Kinney was the 4th placer, and he's got Garrett Colton Weimer's wrestling really well right now, and then Wyatt Corkwell from Bluffton, who's pretty solid, and Isaiah McHugh from Angola, freshman, that's only 7-3. So pretty solid weight class top to bottom. especially when Peru Regional is usually the one that you always want to draw into. And I know, obviously, having a vested interest in this weight class, that's when we were just like we were trying to think, okay, what's the best draw? I was like, there's no good draw out of that Peru Regional. I mean, even the number 4
No,
Kinney's had a good season. Kinney, I believe, beat Sturgill or Brooks, or one of those two. I know they've all gone back and forth. So, um, so that's a pretty tough bracket. Any comments from your end?
it's gonna be a real tough. That's gonna be a real tough. 113. I think there's a lot of guys that are gonna. I mean, like you said, there's gonna be a lot of team race implications. I mean, Western's in there, so Western's gonna have to try to get as many guys through as they can, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the goal last year. I don't think the Gymtown way of getting 3 champs. Um, 3 champs isn't always your best way of getting a semi-state title, but yeah, they're gonna. Western has about 4 or 5 guys that are pretty solid that they need to get through, and they're gonna have to navigate some interesting some paths to get there. And obviously, yeah, I mean, you got in here, you got Garrett, Belmont, um, Carroll's in the mix there. Obviously, there and some teams there, in the mix right there that could have some big team race implications. Get an upset here or there.
Oh yeah, right off the bat, man, the first 2 weights. I mean, you got almost all the teams that are represented for the main team race is going to be represented here.
Yeah. 120, another great weight class. Jet Boots state qualifier last year from Angola. He'll probably match up with Brady Esther. Esther's wrestling real well this year. The 7 losses are kind of deceiving. He's wrestled some pretty good kids, and avenged a few of those
And that's
losses.
a kid you're like pulling for too, right?
Yeah.
Like based on like his off-season stuff, like it's a guy you want to see do well.
Yeah, definitely. Snyder. You always want to see you want to see the SAC rise up and do better now. Even though they're kind of not really a rivalry but it's always good that when the SAC is good, that's going to make the area better. And the SAC has some pretty solid kids this year, so hopefully they're going to be well represented at state. You got Ethan Higgins for Wabash 30-1. Pretty another tough quarter bracket. Jacob Veach of Leo, Zach Atkins. And you got Mikey Calamani. That's a
drink real quick.
Calamani name is synonymous with Gymtown. I know there's some Calamanis back when I wrestled. I think I might have wrestled one of them. So that's going to be interesting. Obviously, you don't want to count out Gymtown Jimmy. Going down, you got Dominic Heath and 9th in the semi-state. You got Ben Miller from Lakeland, who's 15th in the semi-state. Miller gave Heath his only loss just a few weeks ago, so that's going to be a rematch. Obviously, that's going to be a heated the vaulted neck rivalry. Lakeland.
Yeah. Dominic Heath was in the state rankings at one point too. I thought you sent me some video where he was wrestling. I thought he looked really good. He moves really well. 30-1 as a senior, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. So, and then you got another Western kid, Aiden Belt, that's sitting in there, 25-7. They wrestle a pretty good schedule, and that's a kid that he's wrestling for more than himself. That's the thing we tell our kids. You have team race implications, so you're wrestling for more than just yourself. So you're a little extra motivated. Pull a couple upsets, and that's going to put Western in a good spot. And then you get a pretty tough ticket round match over down the bottom bracket. You got John Robinson from Delta, returning state qualifier. Justin Puckett, Northridge, had a pretty solid season, 36-4.
It is sad to see Preston Toysh not be able to go.
Yeah, Toysh had to pull out, unfortunately, and that's you add him to this bracket, and it's you're shifting some guys down, and you're getting some pretty tough matches here, even tougher matches. So yeah, that's always tough. You don't want Fort Wayne to lose a kid that's probably a state placer due to injury or whatever. So that's always a bummer. But yeah, 120 is pretty solid weight class, top to bottom here.
You got a lot of guys coming back with state experience, and a lot of, Puckett's had a real good Al Smith. I think back-to-back years. That's a tough draw. John Robinson's really good.
Yeah.
Ben Miller, had a win over Dominic Heath. Dominic Heath 30-1. Ethan Higgins he had some good wins at the Indiana Mat preseason open also, right?
I believe so. I know there's a couple Higgins that are pretty solid. I mean, obviously he's 30-1 this year, so that's pretty nice, pretty good year so far. So, um, 126. Uh, got a tough.
Really?
Wow.
Dominic Heath's only been wrestling for 3 years.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. He's
He moves really well. He has, his movement's good. He has good stance. His attacks are good.
yeah, that might be
I thought he looked really good in the videos that you sent.
yeah, he might be one that your college coach might want to pick up. Like a D2 or D3 that they can kind of have flourishing. He's a very physical kid and looks like he's pretty strong. So, and obviously,
Oh yeah, I mean, he's a
26
120.
Yeah, 125 pounder. So, um,
Nick got him to wrestle.
I think he goes to the same MMA gym as Nick, if I'm not mistaken. So, 120.
Nice.
So, 126. Bo Humphrey, looking real good from Snyder, returning state qualifier.
Brady's only been wrestling for 3 years too. You guys are getting all these guys starting late or what?
But Brady's only a freshman though. That's a little bit different than. But I know Mr. Dennis Brady used to wrestle back in the day. I seen someone in a bracket one time. Sectional. I know where these archives are.
Yeah, and Nick's right, man. That's the way to go. If you're gonna be a UFC champ, you better start wrestling. All the best guys are the wrestlers in the UFC.
So, Bo Humphrey, looking real good this year, 25-2. He'll have Chandler Sissel, pretty solid Western kid, senior. Jasper Graber, obviously there's Grabers at Northridge. That's it's like having a Baker at Belmont. Pretty tough next quarter bracket. Landon Birch, Bluffton, 39-0. He gets a tough Chandler Shear from Garrett. Senior, that's going to be probably wrestling, nothing to lose there. And then Blaine Mallet from East Noble was 7th ranked in the semi-state, and then Harper Deadman, 38-1. That's a just loaded quarter bracket.
Yeah.
I mean, I could almost see all 4 of those guys making the state if they were put in different spots.
Man, and Landon Birch moved up to go for the state series, right? He was like a 120 most of the year.
Yeah.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
Shearer had an awesome career so far, so I'm sure those guys are having ready. Obviously, Nick's on here. We're not just saying that, but he's done really well.
Yeah, and he's
to see him as a 4, that's a little.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough. We had a tough sectional there. You had a regional. You had Bo Humphrey, Corbin Reister, and then Darren Cool, who are all pretty tough guys. We'll get going down to. I got Dylan Stroud, Manchester, having a good season. Stroud's the one that went to overtime with Ian Heath last year in the ticket round. He'll get the winner of Corbin Reister from Cherubusco and Dominic Litchfield from Belmont. That's obviously, that's one that someone like Belmont has circled. Obviously, Litchfield, Stroud's going to be a tough out, but that's one you want to, get through. Team-wise, even if you get a first-round win, that's 2 to 4 points, which could be a big difference if they score it. I think they're scoring it. I don't know. I won't go on that.
Maybe. We'll find out after that first round what the scores are.
Yeah, yes, if they just magically get erased or whatnot. Eric Garcia, Elkhart Central has had a good season. There's a great article today on kind of Elkhart Central and Elkhart Memorial being merged and how the kids are kind of reacting to that. Obviously, the seniors are one last ride. Steve did a great article on that, so check that out.
Steve always does great articles.
Yeah, 2 great programs, a lot of history, and they were together, then they split, now they're merging back together, and a lot of question marks, but it sounds like both schools are kind of heading in the right direction and stuff. And that's a brutal quarter bracket. You got Payne Blackburn, didn't get the death draw this year. And he had Watts last year, I think, in the ticket round.
Yeah, he had all those tight matches last year with Curtis too.
Yeah, so Blackburn.
I feel like him and Curtis had these 1-point matches the entire year.
Yeah, he has Darren Cool, tough Huntington North kid. A lot of tough seniors right there, so that's gonna be a pretty good quarter bracket.
I thought Eric Garcia wrestled really well at the Al Smith. I thought he had a really good match with Brendan Mark, I think at the NIC, right?
Yeah,
Came down like the last second.
yeah. So
I thought you got a photocopy. I thought you got a fax, Nick. I said,
photocopy.
hey man, however you guys do it up in Garrett, man, it's however you guys do it out in Waterloo.
Waterloo's not Garrett. Waterloo's DeKalb.
The cow, man.
That's the Barons. That's where we had to get out of there. I couldn't be a Baron. I couldn't have my kids be a Baron. That's a travesty.
They got a nice like downtown square though. We
Yeah,
got breakfast there one time. It was pretty good.
yeah. um,
Dylan Stroud undefeated. It's a couple undefeated guys, man. That's a good weight. 126 is pretty tough there.
yeah, that's
That's why it was interesting to see Landon Birch throw his hat in the mix there, right?
yeah, and then you get like a 38-1 Harper Deadman, turning state placer. State qualifier, state placer. That's how we do it in the Fort Wayne semi-state. That's a second.
It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be the Fort Wayne semi-state if you guys didn't have a weight where all your guys just stacked up in one spot.
Yeah. No one. Obviously, the fax machines are down. We don't get that information. Like, hey guys, spread out a little.
You guys
bit.
are still getting the mailed rankings, huh?
Yeah. Yes. I saw the mail to all the Fort Wayne semi-state rank. Oh man, it's horrible. You don't know what that cost is for that postage to send out that bulletin. I think I have one of these right. Oh, that's it, right. I do have one of them somewhere around here. Moving up 132. We were told that we have to at least get to 132 tonight. So you got pretty tough top bracket. You got Dylan Tuttle from Delta, who's having a pretty good year. Obviously, he has Robinson and Blackburn to wrestle with every day, so that's not going to hurt you one bit. Braden Brooks from Wabash has just always been pretty solid for them. I mean, just seeing him there, and then Riakis Shelton from Snyder, who's given Ian Heath everything he can handle the last couple weeks.
Riakis, we got to get Riakis to the state finals, though.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense to Dylan Tuttle, but I got to hear Kevin Whitehead dropping it Riakis Sheldon.
Yeah. No,
see if it's on par with my Riakis Sheldon from the Al Smith that I had to be told several times how to say.
Riakis. Yeah. He's pretty tough. He's hard to score, and he's just short, compact, strong, athletic, and just one of those. I was talking to Heath about. I was like, it's a 1-0 match at sectional. I was like, we've wrestled against him a few times, so I kind of know his style and stuff. And I was like, just hard to score. And he's like, yeah, he's so low and compact. He even gave who's the Minnesota kid that was at IPO? Manville?
Braden Lee.
Manville.
Yeah, Carson Manville.
Is the younger Manville, the Pearson, who's I think he might be an 8th grader, maybe a freshman. He's pretty tough. He took him to overtime at IPO. Especially a shorter period match, he's going to be hard to score on. He's going to be hard to keep, to try to, just get that one takedown on. So that's, he showed that he can wrestle with a lot of good kids and has had some solid off-season stuff. So
yeah, because Manville's like one of the top-rated middle school kids, right? Not just for his weight, but overall, right?
Yeah. The Manvilles are pretty good at their wrestling stuff, I think, from what I've heard. Yeah. So
I've seen better.
A couple. Got Hunter Cunningham from Western, 39-1. Dylan Hernandez, who's number 9 in the semi-state, and the number 10, Colin Rumler from Northridge in that quarter bracket. Cunningham has wrestled the same weight since like 4th grade, I think. It seems.
Man, Hunter Cunningham got to come out of this with a medal this year, right?
Yes. Yeah, he's been at state 3 times. He's right in that mix. Definitely would expect him to. Fort Wayne needs him to medal. I mean, we need him to medal this year. So
you think he's pulling the Eric Keith or what? Eric Keith went qualifier champ.
Hey, we'll take a champ no matter how we can get it.
I don't know. 32 is gonna be tough to win.
Yeah, kind of.
But that was the. I think Eric Keith, like one year he got like splayed Friday night by Oak Hill Kid. Then he had like real bad Friday nights, and then he was in that like quarterfinal or that semifinal where it was all undefeated kids. It was like him, Derek Donaldson, Josh Baxter, Pike, I believe, and I think a kid from Northrop, right? Like Jared Ridley, maybe.
Northrop, yeah, that'd be. Yep, that Ridley would be right there. I have to look that up. But uh, going down, you got
All four were undefeated.
yeah, Ian Heath from Leo having a great season, 36-1. His only losses to Cottingham. Um, and you got Tanner Johnson, a little Northeast 8 rivalry there. Elijah Burlingame there. And then you got Rashik Bonds, number 19 in the semi-state or state. And then Brody Arthur from Oak Hill having a good sophomore year, 36-3.
It should be a really good match to take around Brody Arthur and Rashik Bonds.
Yep, number 5 and 6 in the semi-state. So that should be a good match right there. 138. Top quarterback.
He's trying to make it under the lights to wrestle his best friend, right?
Yeah.
You think they're gonna have, if they make it under the lights, are they gonna have a cool handshake? You think?
They'll do the shoot. Who was it? The Franklin and Mishawaka guys.
Pat Day and Cody Johnson.
Yes. They did their little chest bump and stuff, and then they just roll around for like
Tommy Forte and Cody the Count.
Yes. Yeah. So that Mishawaka guys are friendly. So yeah, it should be.
I mean, Joe would probably have a better idea. How did Cottingham get him?
From what I remember hearing, it was I believe Heath got in on a front headlock, like head in the hole, and Cottingham kind of just hooked his head and put him in a bad position pretty quickly, and that was not. It was over pretty quickly, so it wasn't a throw or something. Just kind of got out of position, and you get out of position against a guy like Cottingham, and he's gonna make you pay. I don't care who you are. So
TikTok dance. That'd be great if they pull out their phone and do a TikTok dance. That'd be out of control.
Yes.
How many old timers wouldn't even know what that is? You think like some real old timers on there?
Yes, we have to look that up. I'm gonna Google that. So 138, another pretty good weight class. You got Hayden Shepard, Sam Levitz, first round. You never want to count out Levitz. Never want to count out Levitz.
That's a good quarter bracket overall, though.
Yeah, Eli Johnson from Norwell is pretty solid. Then you got Josu Sotero from Wayne, 23-2. Kind of still, I saw him a little bit Saturday. Still kind of trying to figure out how where he is. State wise and stuff. I mean, he lost to a pretty good Elijah Chacon from New Haven, who's pretty solid. So that's not a bad loss. That's those only 2 losses. That's going to be a tough match. Obviously,
the real question is, does he go heavy? Does he go hard?
He's, if you're from the SAC, you have heavy hands. That's all. I'm 100% positive. There's no.
I haven't seen my guy on the board, man. Who they were like arguing for a week, and then I haven't seen him. Did you give him a timeout or what?
No, he hasn't got a timeout. I even said hi to him Saturday. He said hi to me. So we're buds, BFFs.
There you go.
We're Facebook friends. Maybe not.
Is he on the real question? Is he on your top friends on your MySpace?
No. That's reserved for I don't even know who.
Whoever was your friend in like 2004?
Yes. So yeah.
What's your MySpace song that's playing right now?
Oh man, that'd be a good one. Price, I don't know. Depends on my feel. It depends on what part of my life I was in at that time,
Why did it go down?
You have the that was about the time in my life where I had some, you're a little bit younger and you have some girlfriends and stuff, and life kind of goes up and down in that area. So
make sure you guys stop it right there. That's good life advice.
It just was a different time, it's like 15 years ago.
Saving Me by Nickelback. Yes.
Hey, don't say anything bad about Nickelback. I've seen them in concert. I got a guitar pick from Nickelback. So there.
You did a pick? You were the only one there. You caught it. That was great.
I saw. Cool. You know the lineup I saw? This is after my college is a kind of senior college trip. I went to see Godsmack, Outkast, Sevendust, Nickelback. Tommy Lee was there, and he got booed off stage. There was like a couple other good bands there, so it was a pretty cool concert.
Did he just drum by himself?
What? Yeah, pretty much. He got booed off the stage, but in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, the Rolling Rock Town Festival is pretty cool. Back in the good old days in 2002. It makes me feel old. I have to dig out the shirt. Home
I
of
think
Joe
my
PA,
MySpace
home
song
of
was
Luke Pletcher.
I think my MySpace song was "Game Over, Little Flip." So
Nice.
I think it was my MySpace song for a long time,
I would have no clue what it just depends on what day of the week it was and how I was feeling. So,
or something from NERD.
yeah.
So we reminisce too long.
The good old days of MySpace. We might as well talk about
Yeah,
the old message board too. The old easy
obsolete.
board.
So what we're saying, Northridge is Logan Hooley.
Yeah, Logan Hooley, Luke Hetzner from Eastern. You got Lane Burns and Toby Abbott from Cowan.
He's got it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, Abbott's having a pretty good season. Cowan looking for their
Really
first
good.
state qualifier. Revive that
I seen
program.
someone yesterday post it. I'm disappointed that we got all those Fort Wayne comments yesterday and Newcastle comments yesterday. They said that Tony Abbott's changing the culture at Cowan.
Yeah, Tony Abbott's a great coach. He did a great job at Muncie South. Obviously, he has his own son. That's one of those. He has a pretty big vested interest in his son's success, and then he's going to bring his son's friends along and get them better. Then they're going to bring. It's one of those things that you see at smaller programs where you get a couple good kids, and it just keeps expanding because they're starting to get their friends to come in, and they're getting their friends, and a small school like that, it's pretty contagious, and it's going to spread like wildfire or like the flu at schools right now.
I think, as far as draws go, like if you're Toby Abbott, that's the best draw you could have asked for, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, not to disrespect Logan Hooley, but Hayden Shepard's been at state, Kyle Lawson's been at state, Elisha Chacon's had a really good 2 years. I know he had some good wins last year, also.
Yeah, so that's your draw that he wanted. Lane Burns, East Side, pretty solid wrestler, really good. I think he's like all state in football or something. He's a real good.
Really, as a
defensive player.
138 pounder, that's pretty good.
Yeah, really good football player, either all state or all conference. I just remember seeing him. He had got some pretty decent accolades in football for a 138 pounder. Definitely the East Side kids will throw you and roll you.
What's
over
East Side's mascot? Are they the Blazers?
Yes, they are the Blazers. Good one. We need to put Blazer, the nicknames on here just so we can have some fun with the nicknames.
That's pretty good.
So going down, you got Kyle Lawson, Hayden Tittman, Fort Wayne Snyder, and then Christian Pfeiffer Lagule from Concord, Dalen Johnson Marion, and then number 20, Elijah Chacon. He has Blaine Daniels from Union City, who's 10th in the semi-state, and then Isaac Hawkins from Fremont, who's number 8. So pretty solid weight class.
The Blue Blazer, man.
Nice.
We don't talk about that one, man. That'll make us too sad.
So,
the saddest. That's the saddest Monday Night Raw ever.
Yeah. Yes. So pretty solid weight. Pretty much everyone got separated. Should be some good. Obviously, there's some. Belmont and Western could be meeting in the finals. And that's going to be big team points. So if you're Carroll, Garrett, Northridge, any of those teams, you're looking at, you're kind of hoping, okay, who's in the lead or who's further behind to win that match. Lawson's having a real good senior year. So I know Belmont's looking for him to have a pretty big day.
Yeah, they really need him to have a big day, right?
Yeah. So 145, we'll finish up on 45 and do the rest Wednesday. Caden Lone from Northwood having a good freshman year. Obviously, there's some lineage there. Lagia Talamantes.
This whole bracket's got some lineage, right?
Yeah, Talamantes is not the Talamantes that you would think of from Fort Wayne. Obviously,
that just seems like an uncommon last name to not be related to those Talamantes.
Yeah, well, it's a Z instead of an S on the end. So,
yeah. He had me fooled.
Yeah, yes. Then you got Alex Curry. That's a good lineage right there from Adams Central. That's going to be a great tick-around match. Curry's had a real good season. 5 losses, and I'm sure about 4.5 of them are to Fichter. I could probably tell you that they wrestle like every week. They're in the ACAC, the Allen County Athletic Conference, where only 2 of the teams are in Allen County. Explain that.
I was really impressed with Caden Lone at the Al Smith. I don't think he placed, but I know he was a Rawhide seed.
Yeah.
He's a middle school state champ. I think obviously middle school state was this weekend, but I think that carries a lot of weight. I think if you're a middle school state champ, that's pretty good.
Two. Yeah, he has three. It says he has 4 losses or 5 losses on track. 4 of them to Fichter, and then one to Tyler Verderveld from Centerville. That's wrong. Oh no, he does have 5. So yeah, four of his losses are to to
Not man, it took so long. Now Nick's giving us like the picks.
yeah. He's yeah. You got Ryan Sheets from Columbia City having a good season. 31-2. Number 4 in the semi-state. Him and AJ Dahl be a good match. Dahl's pretty solid. I believe there's someone named Dahl's been on the message board. South Adams always has some solid kids. No way.
Because they're getting trained out there by Sprunger, man.
Yeah.
Sprunger's doing that work.
Yeah.
Is Sheets the one you said had this great mustache or no?
No, that's their Wireman at 52.
Oh, Wireman.
Yeah, you gotta check that dude's mustache out. He has he looks like he's from Columbia City. Now that
There's no way I'm seeing that mustache if it's in the Parade of Champions.
Yeah. You got Talon Morset from Eastern, 36-3. Garrett Manley, Belmont, Garner Owens, East Noble, and then Evan Ulrich, who's from Carroll, number 2 in the semi-state. Nurses number 7. Oryx 18th in the state. That should be a good ticket round match. Obviously, I have a little bit of interest there, and that's a match that obviously I'm, if Carroll wants to win a semi-state title, we're gonna need that.
Yeah.
So then going down, I think Mr. Buchanan does not like the Nick's picks there, but you got William Fichter, state qualifier last year, lost a heartbreaker in overtime. Only losses to AJ Poindexter. Oh, there's yeah, you have one mullet and one stash. It's all in one.
He said it's more of a Busco thing.
I think it's just more of a Whitley County thing. What are you?
Where's my boy Mike Rayson? Is it not Mike? What's Rayson's first name? It's not Mike.
Sam.
Sam. There was a Mike Rayson I went to school with. Hey, where's Sam Rayson at?
Sam is a Norwell guy. He's from ASEAN.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
But he used to coach Busco, right?
Yeah. He just and he had some nice flowing locks when he was there, and mustache and everything. He fit in really.
So he was living life.
Yeah. So, you got William Fichter and Landon Buchanan. Obviously, Mr. Buchanan over here is that should be a good match. Buchanan's coming on strong. Obviously, well coached there, and has been beat on by the by Hunter Watts and the Gimson twins. So surviving at least surviving just 1 year with those guys and not dying. That's give the kid credit. So he's gonna.
And he had a really good Al Smith also, right?
Yeah,
he wrestled really well.
Yeah, I mean, in Jimtown, has 4 losses on Jimtown's schedule. They're in the NIC. They wrestle a good schedule. They Al Smith. So that's gonna be a tough match for Fichter. That's probably not one of the draws number 2s you wanted. Obviously he's gonna get either you're gonna get Ulrich, Buchanan, or Tyler Miller. Obviously you'd probably take a Tyler Miller from Oak Hill, but Buchanan's tough, and that's gonna be a good one.
Dennis said they're Busco kid too. What's his mustache mullet game looking like?
Hayden's only like 12 years old, so he can't grow a mustache. Well,
which
means he's behind the times in Busco, because usually they're growing mustaches about 11.
So you got good water.
Yeah,
you got good water.
When you eat the magic wand, I mean that starts that lip fur going.
That's how we have it in township too, man. We get that well water that got us those good mustaches but yellow t-shirts.
So, oh yeah, nice. You got to take some Busco and Whitley County jabs.
I don't even know. I mean, I feel bad. I'm sorry, guys. I don't even know.
We'll take you through Turtletown.
Too tall to see it.
Yeah, it's Turtletown.
That means he's taller than Joe, then probably also.
Yes. Reese Wick had a beard at 10 years old. I think you're rounding up. He probably had one at 9.
Yeah. It was when he was turning 10, Joe.
Yes. Some of the bad thing is you got to watch those Busco kids. Oh man, because some of them that have beards, in third and fourth grade are actually 16, 17 years old. So
We had that. We had that at Calumet too.
just kidding.
One of my boys, when he was a freshman, I was a sophomore. He said, "I'm gonna pick you up from school tomorrow." I said, "You're gonna drive to school as a freshman in high school the first day?"
Nice. And is nice. So yeah, we'll stop there. 145. We'll leave everyone else hanging. 52 on up for Wednesday night because it's already
Oh, no, we
11:30.
just turned in 52.
Yeah. 52 is going to be a tough weight class. It's going to be fun to talk about. 3 times a day, nice.
Oh my goodness! I don't even shave 3 times a month.
Yeah, there's a picture of his like one of the there's like a Blitz the Bear or whatever that covers in Northeast Indiana football, and like gave him like award for like the best beard. He had like a full like man beard during football.
Bro,
I
I couldn't even grow it.
Yeah.
I dread No Shave November.
Nice. So yeah, we'll save the mullet and the stash for Wednesday. But yeah, a lot to talk about. We got the rest of Fort Wayne and Evansville, the Southerners. We cannot. I'd like to have we can get Triple B on here. We won't have any volume issues with him. We know that for a fact.
Yeah, man. So I'm out here.
He doesn't understand the microphone things. He's going to be covering the South this year, so he's heading down to the Ford Center. So, oh yes, they did lose a point in the first minute. Yes. Oh yeah, that he got in trouble. The wireman got in trouble for his hair was too long after he got past skin checks and everything, hair checks, and he had to braid it up. First match on Saturday.
I like to think one of his coaches just pulled out a pocket knife and cut it.
I don't think Colt might have one in there. It wouldn't surprise me. Out of
Columbus City's spikes.
Yeah,
it's midnight for these boys.
Yeah, Columbus City's a little more civilized than Churubusco, but I mean they have a really good Dairy Queen, probably the best Dairy Queen in the country.
Is that how Joe got that haircut?
Yeah. Yes. Nick went after me. So, well, with that, we will let you guys go. We'll be back Wednesday to finish up our fun Fort Wayne talk and talk about a mullet and a mustache that is to be desired. Straight out. I surely hope. I mean, I like to see Wireman and Dalton have a mullet off. Nice. Just different version of like yes, different is an understatement. So, well, we will let you guys go, and we will see you guys. Don't go. Oh, we have to go. Sorry. So,
we'll do this all night. I almost said it. I've only cussed on the show one time. I almost got the second one right there.
Nice.
And I'm a cusser, man. I swear a lot.
Yes, he does. Yes. So we will see you guys Wednesday.